Literature derives from the Latin word litera, a letter of the alphabet. The Latin word of literature was simply the plural, litera, and in his basic sense, literature embraces everything written with the letters of the alphabet.
The term is often used to refer to writing that is creative in some way. The rhythm province, if you will, of the large country of art. The 20s were the age of the revolution in the field of the literature. A lot of writers started to show their talent to the world. Their most famous were The Greatest Gatsby by Francis Scott Fitzgerald, Ulysses by James Joyce, The Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, The Age of Innocence, among others. Between the 1919 and 1929, the American literature was originating several movements like drama, poetry, fiction, and criticism that were innovating the type of writing to continue evolving until now.
Francis Scott K. Fitzgerald was born in St. Paul on September 24, 1896, and died on September 24, 1914. He was an American novelist and writer of short stories, widely known as one of the best American authors of the 20th century, whose works are paradigmatic of the jazz era. Fitzgerald is considered a member of the lost generation of the 1920s. He wrote 4 novels: On This Side of Paradise, Beautiful and Cursed, The Greatest Gatsby, and Soft is the Night. A 5th, unfinished, The Loss of the Last Tycoon, was published after his death. Fitzgerald also wrote multiple short stories, many of which deal with youth and promises, age and despair.
Gatsby. He had a grand vision for his life since he was a boy.
I'm gonna fix things just the way they were before.
Just you and me. No amount of fire could challenge the fairy tale he had stored up in his heart.
Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful?
Is all this made entirely from your own imagination?
When I got nothing,
But I had the uneasy feeling that he was guarding secrets.
I know you will.
I wish I'd done everything on earth with you.
Nick begins the book by giving us some advice of his father about not discriminating others. And now it's time to meet our cast of characters. Nick's second cousin once removed Daisy, her large and aggressive husband, Tom, and Jordan Baker. Jordan's a girl, and she quickly becomes a romantic interest for Nick, probably because she is the only girl around who isn't his cousin. While the Buchanans live on the fashionable East, Nick lives on the less elite but not too shabby West, which sits across the bay from its twin town. We are so fascinated by a certain Mr. Gatsby, a healthy and mysterious man who owns a huge mansion next door to Nick and spends a good chunk on his evenings standing on his lawn and looking at an equally mysterious green light across the bay.
Moving along, Gatsby introduced Nick to his business partner, Mayor Walsingham. This is starting to sound fishy. Next, Gatsby reveals to Nick that he and Daisy had a love thing before he went away to work and she married Tom, after a serious episode of cold feet that involved whiskey and a bathtub. Gatsby wants Daisy back and he enlists Nick to help him stage an accidental reuniting. Nick executes the plan. Gatsby and Daisy are reunited and start an affair. Everything continues swimmingly until Tom meets Gatsby, doesn't like him, and begins investigating his affair.
History context. Located in the prosperous Long Island on 1922, The Great Gatsby offers a critical social history of America of the 20s within its narrative. That era, known as the unprecedented economic prosperity, the evolution of jazz, music, contraband, and other criminal activities. All these aspects are plausibly represented in Fitzgerald's novel. Fitzgerald uses these social developments of the 1920s to build Gatsby's histories with the simple details such as cars border theme, such as Fitzgerald's discreet allusions to the culture of organized crime, which was one of the sources of Gatsby's fortunes. The author educates his readers about the straitened society of the 20s by emplacing a time plot in which its essays identify within a social historical context of the time.
You see, the rest of New York simply came, uninvited. The whole city packed into automobiles, and all weekend, every weekend, ended up at Gatsby's. And I mean everyone, from every walk of life, from every corner of New York City. This kaleidoscopic carnival spilled through Gatsby's door.
My invitation. Oh, just my throat. You don't need to know the guy. Certainly not my invitation. This way.
Caravansary of billionaire Playboy publishers and their blonde nurses. Heiresses comparing inheritances on Gatsby's beach. My boss, Walter Chase, losing money at the roulette tables. Gossip columnists alongside gangsters and governors exchanging telephone numbers. Film stars, Broadway directors, morality protectors, high school defectors, and Ewing Klipspringer, dubious descendant of Beethoven.